All right, so we're going to go over how to do just a regular single crown. And so this is, we're going to start off by getting our scan from Medit. And so right now I'm logged in as Exocademy, but I click the profile button here and do log out. And it will log out of the program, so you can log into either the specific office that you're trying to get the scans from, if it hasn't been sent to Great Lakes Dental Education or Exocademy. So here's the ID is my personal email. If you click on that ID box, you'll see the other offices that you can that have Medit signed up. So the smileinmichigan.com is the Shelby office, and gldental.com is the New Baltimore office. So this patient is in Shelby. So actually, no, they are in New Baltimore. But for this example, I'm going to log into my Exocademy account. Sorry for the confusion there, but that's how you change locations. So you click on the patient, and you'll see here we have the form, the tooth number, and the shade. And if it's not for the Exocademy, you can get to this screen right from the office login. On this screen, this is where after you've taken your scans, you want to export them. So that's this button right here, this square with the diagonal arrow is the export button. So I'm going to export this case, and this goes to my Dropbox folder for this. I put them at this office, and I put their name, the tooth number, and then the shade in parentheses. And that's how that's my nomenclature for cases. That's how it keeps me organized. So I have all of that copied to the clipboard. I'm going to export it. So now I'm downloading those scans from the cloud, and they are now saved in that folder. Right now everything is in the Medit cloud, so I have to download it from the cloud in order to be able to design the crown. So now that I have those STL files, or those the other color 3D files are called OBJ or PLY files. Now that I have those on the computer, I can get out of Medit and start exocad. So the way that I start exocad is this button right here is the exocad button, and this is the prescription screen. The things that I need to fill out first are the client. So I click that arrow, that drop box, that drop down, and I'm going to select the office that it's for, and then type in the patient name. And that's all I need right there. Then I'm going to click on the tooth that I'm designing. So right now I'm doing tooth number 4, so I click on it, and it comes up with our whole list of things that we can design for that tooth. The upper left option is anatomic crown. I'm going to make it out of zirconia, and then the shade I believe was A3. I don't need anything right here. It's just these are all the options, but for a single normal crown, let's say, I don't need to click anything. Click OK. Yes, it's A3, and down here it says tooth shade. I'm going to put A3 there. I'm going to click on tooth number 5 and make that an adjacent tooth. And then I'm going to hold the control button and click on number 3, and that also makes it an adjacent tooth. So I've got a crown on number 4, adjacent teeth on 3 and 5, with an antagonist on 29, and the tooth shade is A3. I'm going to save the job right here. And then after I do that, that writes the folder in the exocad database for all of this information. And now our options on the right-hand side are clickable. So now we've got a project. We can move forward with design. So we click this design button, and that's going to start the exocad program. And then it's going to ask us what where the jaw scans are. So like where the files are for the upper jaw and the lower jaw and whatever scans are required for our design. So right now you can see it's this window, it says upper jaw, load the jaw scan. So I'm going to go to wherever I downloaded that file from Medit, that folder from Medit, which is in my to-do, and it's for the New Baltimore location. And it's this top one here. I've sorted by the date modified, and it's this top one here. And now here are all the files. I have lower jaw, OBJ, and STL, the bite in OBJ and STL, and then the upper jaw. This is asking for the upper jaw, so I'm going to double click upperjaw.obj. That's a color STL file. And then I'm going to and now it's asking load the antagonist, load the lower jaw. I'm going to double click lower jaw OBJ, and they're always in occlusion from Medit, so they should come with that. The first thing is the right mouse button lets you rotate around. If you do the right and the left mouse button, you can pan, and if you middle click, if you click the middle mouse button, that centers wherever it is your middle mouse button clicks. So I middle mouse button click on number 4, puts number 4 in the center of the screen, and this is the orientation for the STL file. So I'm going to click next. It's not red. Then it asks me, do you want to use the virtual articulator? I don't want to, so I'm just going to click next. And this whole time in the background, exocad was designing a crown using the AI. So it's uploading these scans to the exocad cloud, and the artificial intelligence is looking at neighboring teeth, going through its catalog of library teeth to see what would be most appropriate for this patient in tooth number 4. And you can see these little dots under the cloud AI menu on the right hand side. And then we've got a timer on the left side. So if you can get to this step and then just go do an exam or anesthetize a patient, you got 2 minutes just to sit around. When you come back, there you go. Now our tooth is designed. So I'm going to turn off antagonist up here. These are the show hide options here on the upper left. And I'm just going to say I'm happy with the result, because I like the shape of that crown. Most of the time, the AI does a pretty good job with designing the crown. So I'm happy with it. Go next. The next step is margin line detection. I click draw free and correct draw. So this is the way it doesn't snap my design, my margin line, to something that I don't want it to snap to. And I'm just going to click around where I think the margin is. This one is quite deep, as you can see. And then when I get this close to these two, I'm just going to double click, and that completes the margin. Now if there's an area where I'm off of the tooth, like here, it's just so deep, my margin's probably right there. This is probably not a great example to look at where the margin is. But this is how you can evaluate your margins. Are you able to see your margins in your scan when you send them? If you can't, how is the lab good? You got to think of like what the lab does too. So that's why I like to make my own crowns, because I can see my scans and I can kind of know, oh yeah, this is going to be kind of a feather margin here on the side because it's so deep on the distal. So let's just say that that's my margin right there. I think that's pretty. That's probably not it. It probably is all the way in like this. That distal, but I want it to go all the way down. Okay, so I'm done. When I'm happy with my margin, I just click next. and that's going to give us the insertion direction. When I use the right mouse button to move to side, you can see that the yellow and the red are highlighting the undercuts. I like to move it to where I can just see the edges of the distal of number 5 and the mesial of number 3. So I think this arrow is actually probably the axial direction of the tooth. This is what exocad thinks is the best insertion direction, and it's probably right on because I can't see the arrow. It's just a circle right there. If I wanted it in a different insertion direction, I would just move it to that direction and then say, click this button, set current view as insertion axis, and it would change this arrow. But I don't want to do that. I like where it's at, so I'm just going to click next. This is going to bring us to the crown bottom step. This is like your die spacer step. You can see that this green bar, this light green band, is no cement gap, and then the yellow is a 0.08 millimeter cement gap. I usually just like to have those all the same, so I just click next. I don't alter those at all. And then it's going to merge the AI crown to our margin line that we made, and we can go to adjusting the cusps. So you can see this is the adjustment part that I have preset is cusps, so you can move that up and down and around, but I don't really need to make any adjustments. I turn off the jaw scan here, show and hide. That shows me the proximal contacts. What I like to do is go to this free form menu, add and remove, where it's like orange, because that I know is a heavy contact. You can see up here the scale, the orange is intersecting 0.3 millimeters, negative 0.3, and if I click the adapt menu here, I can adapt the proximal contacts to negative 0.024 millimeters, which I found is a good contact intersection for making moderately, snappy contacts. So I click the A proximal button, and you can see now that that proximal contact has changed, and we've got like a little depression on that side of the tooth, and a little depression there. I'll click static occlusion, and that reduces the occlusion to 0.24 millimeters. That's why I consistently found it a decent bite. When I've got my adjustments done, I click smooth and flatten. I'm just going to smooth that area so we don't have big hard lines in between them. And you can see then I'll click adapt again, A proximal, and smooth again. And that's probably all we need to do. So we're going to get good contacts. They're nice and smooth on the sides, and our contours are great. So you can spend a lot of time in this step kind of messing with your crown, but that's how the AI designs the crown, and you don't really have much to do in the way of messing around with them. And then I'm done. Click done. I'm done. Go next. And now I'm going to nest it for milling. So now we've got an A3. I'm going to go down here to my CAD CAM menu and open hyperdrnt. And this is an A3 block. So this is this is called the fixture. This is the machine that we're using, and we select the icons in this one first, then this one, then this one. So 1, 2, 3, kind of going backwards, right to left. The fixture, if we were going to do something like if I was going to do like an EMAC Serac block, there's a Serac block holder. So I have to change the machine and put the Serac block holder in there. We're not, so I gotta, it always defaults to this 98 millimeter zirconia circle. So you don't ever have to change this really. We're gonna choose our puck or our blank since we have the right fixture. And now I'm going to look for, I said A3. So these are the zirconia pucks that we have, and I go to the first A3 that we have, and that's this alien milling, and I double click it. This is the puck that we've used in the past. It's milled 2 bridges, a crown, and 2 other crowns. So like 3 crowns and 2 bridges. And yeah, that's the patient. I had to mill that bridge twice. Oh, and this patient I had to mill that crown twice. So this is the puck that we're going to load. To get rid of this fixture, I'm going to highlight this thing so it all turns yellow, and this third button from the bottom on the right hand side, it says hide selected. So just get rid of that platform. So now I've got the right puck. Now I want to load the right part, or the right crown. So I click load the tooth, and it goes to the last directory that we used. I go up 1 level from this folder, and that's my CAD data folder. This is the exocad folder where all my designs are kept, and my most recent exocad design was that patient, Alan. We just designed it. So I'm going to double click that folder and then click on the STL file that's in that folder, and that's his crown. I click material and select zirconium and open, and it's going to put that tooth in the puck. And I can move it around, and I basically want it right here because I'm going to have a sprue connector on this, and I want one here and I want one here. Remember, this is all cut out here on this lower left quadrant, so I can't put any connectors here because there's no material there to connect to. So it's orange. When I go to the edge, I can rotate it, so I can rotate it around this axis. When the mouse changes to that circled arrow, or arrowed circle, however you want to look at it. Click outside the puck, and now it just turns yellow. It was moving when I double click it. That activates the movement function. When it's yellow, now I have all these options at the top, and this is the sprue option, or they call them connectors. So you set the connectors, and it opens up this set connectors menu. I turn it to manual, and I want to put a connector right here. So I zoom in, rotate it to the side, and click right in the middle, and it puts that connector there. I use the right mouse button and rotate all the way. I use the middle mouse button to pan, and I'm going to get in the middle of that buccal surface and set that connector there. Now, because this is a premolar, I might just need these 2 connectors. If it was a molar, I'd want maybe 3 connectors or 4 connectors, one or two on the buccal, and at least 1 or 2 on the palatal or lingual. But because this is a small crown, I think I just need those 2. I'm going to close that. So when I've got it nested, I need to calculate the tool path that the machine is going to take to cut this crown out. So I highlight what I want it to calculate, and then I click the calculate button. Then it pops up this window, and it's doing all of the math to calculate where the tools are going to come down, which tool is going to come down, and where it's going to spin around to cut that crown out. While we're waiting for that to go, I'm going to print this piece. So I select it, I right click, and I click print selected parts. So that's going to go to my printer, and it's going to show me the document that has this printout with the part name, the patient name, and what the puck looks like, and what the name of the puck is. So you can see up top here we have the alien milling MLA3 18 millimeter. So that's the puck that we need to get, and then this file is going to tell the machine to mill out that crown out of that puck. When it's totally done, let's see. On my quick links on the left side here, I've got 2 folders. I've got the CAD data folder, which is the folder that exocad uses to output everything. I have this NC output and then NC. NC output is on this computer. I click that folder, and you see right here we've got this alien MLA3, with this long name here. That's the tool path that we just calculated. So sometimes I will rename this long number, and I'm going to just put a cop as the patient's name for that. And then I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go to this network, this little green icon, NC is the milling unit, and I'm going to paste that NC file there. So now, once the puck is loaded, I can go into the software on the milling unit itself and select this file, and it will mill out that crown.